Hi guys, Rachel with Spunky Misfit Girl here, and I am so excited to do this project with you today. Aren't they so cute? These little Christmas gnomes, or they could just be vintage gnomes. You wouldn't have to make them Christmassy, but they are the cutest thing ever, aren't they? And they're gonna be so cute as little inserts in a journal. I don't know, you could tuck them into their own little pockets. You could turn them into pockets with little tucks. I followed a tutorial from Craftshare UK. It was the first video of hers that I'd ever watched. And she was using them to make Christmas cards, which makes a lot of sense. But I'm not a Christmas card maker, and I think they would be just as cute and fun tucked into a journal or a journal insert somewhere. And they're easy to make. The hardest part of it probably is just getting all of the tools that you need for all of the little bits and pieces that you need to make. The only things I would maybe recommend are, she used tweezers and I did not, and I broke them out for this time around to see if they help. They're a little gluey, so we'll see. And then also a precision glue tip is something that I generally don't use just because they get clogged and I cannot keep them unclogged for the life of me. But I'm gonna try it this time around and see if I can get this to work, because I can, now that I'm looking at these guys in the light, see that they're pretty gluey. Doesn't mean they're not still cute. They have a lot of personality, but this guy's little kitty definitely has some glue. So what you're gonna want for this, punches, dies if you have a die cutting machine, and a lot of different sizes of punches. And so I will show you. So we've got here, this is our head. That's coming from a 1-inch circle punch, okay? That's your first piece that you're gonna need. And that is, I used manila folder because I have a whole bunch of these that I bought for potentially using to make journal covers for cheap, and they make a pretty good color for faces and hands and things, all right? So that is your head and face. And then you're gonna want a heart shape punch that's about 1 inch, very similar to the size of your head punch. And I actually have a couple. I've been using this one from We Are Memory Keepers just because it's the first one I got. It's a little more rounded. This one would probably work just fine too, from Vera. So you're gonna want that. That's gonna be for your hands. You're also gonna use that punch in patterned paper for your sleeves. Okay, so you're gonna want to do one in pattern paper for the sleeves. Now, for your boy's nose, this is one that I bought in a set. And Craftshare UK said 3/8 inch. I thought that this one was 3/8 inch, but that's too big. So maybe that's a 5/8. Anyway, you can kind of see the size relative to the face there. And that was one that I needed to get. I'm not going to be cutting out circles. I'm no good at that. So, but you could do it that way as well. And then this itty bitty guy is just from the larger size punch on my crocodile. So again, 3/16. So that's a 3/16 inch punch, and that is just the leftover hole from that. And that's gonna be the girl nose, boy and girl nose, respectively. So that's gonna come from that same color as the head. Then you're gonna also want a fluted circle. And this is where I messed up. The fluted circle I got is 2 inches, which is too big. But it works. I managed to make it work. It's a little bit tricky, but it would be better if you get a 1-inch fluted circle, or you can use a die for this too. Just ideally it would be the same size as your head. And that is for beard, for your guy, and hair for your lady. Okay? And then you're gonna want another, so this is another place where I messed up. I have a 2-inch punch, and again, same size as my fluted circle, and I used that for the bodies for all of mine, which is actually much bigger than what she used in the original tutorial. Now, again, it doesn't matter. They're super cute. I mean, they're just fatter. But they're still super cute. So you could, if you have a 2-inch punch and you don't want to buy another one, you could absolutely use a 2-inch punch. But I did also realize after I made that round that I had already ordered a 1.5-inch, which is what she used, or something similar is what she used for the body, which was closer to the size of the head and made them not quite so fat. So you could do that as well. So you'll need a circle in pattern paper that matches your pattern paper hearts, or doesn't if you want, but that's going to be your sleeves. So if you do those in different from colors from your body circles, you'll have different colored sleeves. And then you're going to want, now Craftsure UK said 5/8 inch circle for shoes. So I did this one, which I said was too big for the nose, and that seems small compared to what she had on hers. So this is the size of that punch. I did use that for the ladies' shoes. But then I also did I believe this was a 1-inch punch for the guys' shoes. So you can do that, again, however you like. It makes the guys have, big, big monster feet. I think it's cute and it works. So that's all good. And then you're going to want some kind of a flower. Now I do have a die cutting machine, and the die that came with it was actually a lot of these little flower guys. So I just did a big punch of these because I'll use them. So you'll want this for the mustache on your guy. You can also, so I also use these for decorations, as you can see, on some of my hats and things. And what you can also do, what I used here is actually 2 halves of a circle again as well. I just punched one of these size circles and cut it in half, and that will work just as well to make a mustache. And then what I didn't do, what I meant to do ahead of time, is you'll need this kind of slouchy triangle shape for the hat. Or I experimented on this one with giving her a funny other kind of sort of Whoville, Who from Whoville hat, which is also fun. And those I've just been kind of cutting and eyeballing once I have my head where it needs to be, because I just find that easier, and I don't really have a template for those. You could probably, once you kind of have a sense of what size hat you want, you could make a template, but we'll take a look at that as we go here. So we're gonna put these guys together, and we're gonna start with our man. We take his head. And so one of the things that she also did that I couldn't really quite get the hang of, and we're gonna try again to see if we can get a little better here. I've got some pink Victorian velvet with a little homemade inker here. She did a bunch of just kind of giving them some pink on their faces and their noses and their hands. I don't know. I mean, you can't even really see this guy's face at all. So we'll try that though. And she did the nose. She did kind of the bottom of the nose, which gave it a nice kind of depth. So you can do that or not, as you like. So then we're gonna take our head, and so this, the fluted circle is his very, very big beard, Santa beard on my gnome. And we're gonna glue his head kind of just above there, where the beard seems to make sense. And I'm gonna try this little guy. I don't know if it's even really gonna work. I haven't used this. Ooh, look at that. Yeah, see, I'm a gluer, you guys. I would have a hard time with this normally, but I think it might be actually very good for this little project here. It's just toward the end of July as I'm filming this, so the whole Christmas in July thing has been happening, and I really kind of like it. I like Christmas a lot. Doesn't really last long enough. All right, so head on beard, and then we're gonna do our mustache. No, I'm wrong. We're gonna, let's see. Okay, this is our guy's body here. So we're gonna take a look at that, and we need a hat for him. And I have this super cute collection of papers, Christmas papers. So see, for this guy, I did this opposite. I did these pretty, pretty leaves on the hat. I think I might do the hat out of this time. So let's take a look and see if we can get that. Just get a triangle shape to start with. And I'm gonna want it to go down to about the level of where the beard is and kind of be that size. So I'm gonna kind of just eyeball and aim. Give it a little bit of a more rounded shape just because I like that. That's gonna be a little too big. I'm gonna want to go here. It's gonna have a little bit of a shorter hat than the others, but that's okay. I like them to have some personality, don't we? Each one's different, one of a kind. There, I think that's perfect. That's a great hat. Great gnome hat. All right, so that guy is gonna get glued on there. Hopefully our tip will keep working and not clog up if I'm not a monstrous beast about this. I just always feel like it's not enough glue. Put that guy on there, just about at that level. Yeah. All right, so then we're gonna give this guy a mustache. Which one should we use? What do you guys think? Do we want a skinny mustache? I used this fat one for the other guy. So maybe we'll try this one. And so we're gonna just cut, we should want 2 of these. kind of with a little bit of a arch. Still. And that's gonna get glued on just under his hat. This is maybe where my tweezers will come in handy. So I just wanna place that and take a look real quick. I'm gonna then put the nose on. Yeah, that's perfect. All right, so we're gonna glue our flower petals, mustache. Let me put that on here, just like that. Without getting glue everywhere. Ooh, I'm liking the tweezers. And it's a little crooked, which I also like. If only I could get, you guys, if there's a secret to using a needle nose tip like this and not having it get all clogged, I don't know how to do that. So if you have a secret for that you can share with me, I would love it. But his nose right there, that's so darling. I love it. I love it. All right, mustache and nose. Okay, so now we're gonna do our hands. And again, we can put a little bit of pink just on the bottoms, just gives a little depth. Ooh, that was a little more than I wanted. To that bottom of your heart. Don't do that like I did. That was maybe too much. I might leave that one for the girl and just do a lighter version for my boy. A little dustier. So a pink that's a little orangier or something might make me happier. Okay, and so then you're gonna take your pattern heart and you're gonna cut off the rounded tops so that you make this little, you know, this could make a cute hat too on one of them, by the way. That could make a fun, that could make for like a little baby gnome, cute baby gnome. Oh God. Anyway, okay, so then you're gonna take that piece and you're gonna glue it to your heart that you just put the pink on. Right over the top of where it fits naturally. Just like this. Okay. And these are going to be your hands in just a minute, but we're going to give them a sec to dry while we work on the body. So now we're gonna take our, and I'm still using my big 2-inch circle for my boy. Make him a little bigger than my lady gnome. And I'm gonna, I don't know, let's see where I wanna put this guy. We'll leave him like that. Glue them in on there. So I'm gonna go on the bottom of my beard here. It just feels like such a little tiny stream of glue. I just worry it's not gonna stick. All right. I'm so used to my big blobs of Fabri-Tac. Put him on there like that. He's shaping up to be so cute. Now we're gonna tackle our shoes, and I think for him, I'm gonna continue to do big shoes. And I'm actually gonna ink up this circle because I'm using this pretty brown scripty circle for him for his shoes, and I'm just going to cut that in half. Just like that. And then ink the bottoms as well. And so then our shoes are just going to come, oh man, I had one other thing that I wanted for this project that I have not brought over here, of course. Okay, so we're going to take our shoes, and the shoes are going to go along his body like this. And something that she did that I actually didn't notice, that I didn't do, was she kind of glued them up here and then cut. So let's try that this time. Whereas what I did was I just glued them like just barely, so that bit there was like that. And so you can do that either way. I actually think I kind of like that with my big body because it just looks a little bit weird. So I'm gonna just put some glue on the tops of these. Kind of see how this looks. Figure out where I want these. The great thing about these two is that it's just very similar to junk journals. Like, you can't really screw it up, right? They're super cute. I'm actually gonna put it here this time. And whatever you do differently on any given gnome, it'll just be his gnome personality, you know? You don't need to worry about it. So, yeah. I'm liking that. Cute. So, what I did on the others, what I meant to do here too, you can see it most clearly on her shoes, which are black. I just took a little white gel marker and made some lines to give the light so that the tops of the shoes look shiny. Again, just gives a little bit of extra depth, which gives them that personality that you're looking for. So next, we're going to do our arms, go back to our arms. So we've got our heart, and we're just gonna cut right down that middle to the point. And we're gonna glue those on to Mr. Gnome. And I'm gonna just give it a little line of glue on the side of that arm there. Yeah. And I'm gonna put it, and again, this part you can kind of just decide what you like. I'm kind of putting it behind his beard. You might want to move it up, and I think I'm stuck, but you could also move it up to go kind of behind his hat. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave that there and do that the same over here. Just like that. He's a little bigger, burlier gnome this time. And that is it, you guys. That is the basics of the man. And then you can add, you know, I added a bird, I added a little guy to his hat, little stars, little ribbons, skirts for the ladies. I originally intended this to be her hair, but it ended up looking kind of like wings. So I added some hair for her. So that's your guys. So let's do a lady too, so you can see that as well. And I'm going to do her with my littler size this time around. So again, we're going to take our face circle and give her some light pink on her cheeks. And I probably lost my nose for her. That's there, so we're gonna give the nose a good douse of pink. It's very small. It's just easiest to do all that first. Okay, so then we're gonna take our head and we're gonna glue our head to her hair. So our big fluted circle here, and we're gonna do that kind of just underneath this part, but we're not gonna glue the whole thing down yet. We're gonna just give the top some glue and leave that bottom part open for later. Oops, and I did that kind of sideways according to the shoot. All right, my cheeks go the wrong way. I think it'll be okay though if I just come over here with a little bit more glue. We're still gonna be able to get in that body underneath. I'm gonna put her on there just like that. And then she needs a hat also. So her body is gonna be this as well. I kind of want to give her a different, maybe I should make her hat match his shoes. I don't know, I was gonna give her black shoes, but I've been liking matching. I matched her shoes to her hat, and that was fun. I like the idea of making a hat out of this one, so let's go for that. Cut a little triangle here. That was way bigger than I meant it to be. All right, so maybe like this. And then again over here. I'm just guessing on these, not being precise at all. I kind of like them slouchy and not straight. It gives them a little more personality. I actually think I'm gonna do this even a little more. It's a little too straight over here. Okay. And I think we'll ink that one too, since this, I like the look of this paper when it's inked. Make sure you're still with me. All right, hat goes on next. This is annoying too because this thing keeps coming off. Every time I pull the top off, the whole needle tip comes off. But I'm afraid to leave the top off for too long because I think that's gonna clog it up. So actually, I feel like this needs to come down further. I need to have to cut some. I think I did because this hair was so big. On the other one, I cut a little bit of it. So let's do that. I'm gonna put that here. if you have the right size of fluted circle, you probably won't have to worry about this. Phooey, I don't have my littler scissors either, so this is gonna be a little tricky, but I can just cut the part that sticks out off so that it looks like that hat covers her whole hair. I'll just go a little closer in on that one. And I might use my little scissors later to touch that up on this side too. But that's okay, I like it. Okay, so hair is ready to go, and so is hat. And so now we've got to put our little nose on here. So let's grab our tweezers and put glue on the back of our nose with the tweezers, because I think that's gonna be making us a lot happier. So where's the bottom of our nose? And that's gonna go in just like that. I still overglued it a little. Yeah, I think that was a little bit high, and that's just because this is so big. Okay, and then the trick for this is, where is our piece? So the piece, you can take the piece that you used to cut things out of, and you can use that as a little guide to line it up. Take the little punch for the nose and kind of put that up against the bottom of where you put the nose, and just use it to draw out that little half moon for her smile. She's got kind of a big chin, this one. Okay. Now we're gonna add her body. And this is a little weird because she really has big hair, this one. And that's the thing about with the, I might still want to use the big body for her, just because she has this really big hair. And if she gets little shoes too, her hair is literally going to go down past her shoes. I don't know how I feel about that. Let's cut her shoes. I'm going to cut her shoes in half and take a look. And actually, with the brown hat, I don't know if I want to give her black shoes after all. That was not perfect cutting either. One's bigger than the other. It's kind of cute though, isn't it? It is kind of cute. I'm going to give her brown shoes though. I'm going to give her shoes that match her hat too. I can't resist for the ladies. All right, so we'll try it. We're going to try it, guys. We're going to glue this guy in here. I'm going to slide that up in under there. And then just also do a little bit of glue here so that her face goes down as well. And I think what we'll do is I'll cut let's just let that dry for a second, and let's do our hands. So we already added our pink. I'm gonna cut my sleeves for her. Same way we did the guy. Glue that on so that that'll have a sec to dry before we wanna cut it and put it on her too. And down on here. Oops, that's not straight. I feel like with the needle nose on the glue, it dries much faster and I don't have as much time to adjust things. This punch was a little bit fluffy on the edges, so I'm just trimming that up a little bit. Still a little bit of faff. All right, so let's do her shoes. I'm gonna just ink it. And actually, let's cut her hair just in this area where we're gonna put the shoes too. I'm just gonna trim that off. Maybe go this one too. There. She's gonna be a very special gnome, this one. So let's get this right in the middle here. Make sure we're getting closer to same size shoes. She already has to deal with some challenges, this lady. She at least wants to have shoes that are the same size. All right. And put our shoes on here, just like this. And I'll put those a little closer to each other than I did Mr. Dude. She's a lady. Oh, she might end up being my favorite one after all that. I think that's really cute. Her hands? Ooh. So that's a problem. This is something I didn't run into before with the big circle because she's got the big fluted hair, which wouldn't be a problem if I hadn't already glued her body down. Actually, maybe I can still sneak them in under there. So let's go quick here and try to see if I can do that. With the bigger size body, I mean, and this is the thing, this is what it matters whether your hair, your fluted circle matches your body size, right? With the smaller body size, because normally I would put the hand back here behind the body, see? Just like we did with the guy. Which if the fluted circle were the same size as the body, we could do that with her. Yeah, I think I'm gonna be able to just sneak these in there. We'd be able to do that with her too. But because she's got a big hair and small body, we've got to fit her arms in in front of her hair, but that's okay. She's still a cutie, isn't she? Perfect fix, right? And then the other thing that you can do if you want that, I don't know, it's not a big deal to me. I don't think it makes a big difference. You can cut a little notch in the hands of the ladies to make their hands a little more dainty. But I kind of like the big mitt hands anyway. And then it's up to you. You can decorate from there. I happen to have these other punches for little flowers. I kind of like that with him. I put a bird on this guy. I've got this little flower on her hat that's a teeny tiny flower, and then I use these, a lot of these die cuts that I didn't use for the mustaches on their hats. And for the other guys, this guy's hat here. But up to you. Then it's playtime with your gnomes. And I just had so much fun with this. I hope that you guys do too. Let me know what you make. I'd love to hear about it. Tag me on social media if you want with your pictures of your makes. And Merry Christmas in the summer, in August, probably by the time you see this. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and sign up for my email list in the description. I will also make sure that all of the different sizes and pieces that you need for this are in the description as well. Thank you so much for watching.